I think it's time to move on to our last talk of the session, which is John Keller, who's talking about forward lunar exploration and beyond the Fiske Fulldome film. So, John, whenever you're ready.
Thank you very much. And actually, Tom Ludlow will be sharing his screen for me. But I'm pleased to share with you an exciting planetarium Fulldome show that we're working on at Fiske Planetarium. I'm a planetary scientist at the University of Colorado Boulder, not the John Keller at Goddard, but the John Keller at Fiske. And this is a collaboration looking at lunar exploration and the Artemis mission in collaboration with Jenny Shipway at the Planetarium Consultancy and with 10 Studio, which is up in northern Colorado. So what forward is, forward to the moon. And I'm going to advance my slide now, if I can. And Tom, you may need to advance the slide for me.
The first one.
This is a survey engagement augmentation that the NESF project at University of Colorado Boulder received a year and a half ago. We're putting together a 25-minute Fulldome planetarium show that we'll be distributing worldwide to planetariums. The script was developed by Jenny Shipway in England in collaboration with Fiske and Lockheed Martin. And the animations are being produced right now by 10 Studio, with Tom, who is sharing his screen, being one of the primary artists on this project. We're looking to do location shoots in coordination with NASA centers, although COVID has made that challenging to get onto NASA centers. But as we progress with Artemis, we'll be getting Fulldome footage at Kennedy and at Johnson Space Center. And we are right now securing narration. We've actually received very positive feedback from both Katie Sackhoff from Battlestar Galactica and Carrie Byron from Mythbusters. They both indicated interest in being narrators for this show. And film editing mixing is being done at Fiske. And we are then supporting, this whole project is supported both by the survey grant augmentation, as well as by additional support from Lockheed Martin. We're in a unique position at Fiske Planetarium in that we have a network of over 300 planetariums worldwide that are already participants in our NASA Explorations Fulldome video series, which are short 3-minute clips around NASA science. And so we will be distributing both to that network as well as to the overall planetarium network for this free planetarium film show. Next slide, Tom. The script of the show is related. Actually, the purpose of the goal of the project is to really, as Andy was talking about, to generate interest and engagement to then stimulate the next generation of STEM professionals and space explorers. We are focusing on Orion, on the Gateway, and on human landers, which you see there at the bottom of the screen, and how all of those will be leading us towards understanding the Earth, the solar system, and the universe. But our main goal is to, through that story, to really capture engagement and awareness of the public, and then inspire the next generation of STEM professionals through students and the public to know what NASA is doing with the work of Artemis. Next slide. This is a sign that shows the scenes that are in the film. And you can see that we introduced with Jack Schmitt, one of the Apollo 17 lunar landing mission, telling us what the moon used to be like. But we're really emphasizing this is going forward to the moon. And so we spend the next 6 scenes really laying out what current NASA mission plans are for getting to the moon before our Artemis 3 launch sequence. And the last 3 scenes of the show, of the film, are focused on the science that will be coming out of the Artemis mission, followed by plans for how Artemis will help lead us on to Mars exploration. What we want to do is to share with you just some brief clips, a preview of this film. And so we're gonna, unfortunately we can't do this in the planetarium right now due to COVID, but what we'll be sharing with you is preliminary visual cuts that 10 Studio has put together with a circle in a square projection. And so just to get you oriented here, you're now looking at an entire planetarium film, a planetarium dome, where the lower part of the screen is the front of the dome. So you need to imagine you're looking forward. Behind you, or the top of the screen, is the back of the dome. Left is still left and right is still right. And up is straight up. There is a sweet spot in many planetariums, which we've labeled with an X, which is kind of where forward. So you'll see most of the action of these two previews we must share down in that lower corner right above the front of the dome. And so the first scene we're going to show with you is from scene 6. This scene was generated, is around the mission plans for getting to the moon with the Orion spacecraft and the Gateway. And these are just clay passes, so don't have all the special effects that will be added over the next several months. And we're also adding an actual spacecraft model for Viper now that Astrobotic has been selected to do the landing for that. And so we're going to play this scene for you just for about 3 minutes to give you a sense of what the film is coming together with. And also we have the narration on this track is not the official narrator, it's a narration for timing. So we'll also be working on the sound levels of the film. We'll see how this plays. Tom, we're not hearing that, are we? Okay, so I will talk over this. I will become the official narrator. What we're seeing here is the Orion space capsule heading away from the Earth, and it is this story right now is talking about about space radiation and the issues that space radiation will face as we move forward with the Orion space capsule. And Tom, are you able to play this?
Tom, did you select the audio, computer audio when sharing your screen?
Is that better?
Yeah, it's very faint, Tom. I'll go ahead and just talk over what you're seeing in the shots. So that was a scene that emphasizes space radiation and micrometeorite issues for the Orion capsule. This is the Orion capsule docking with the Gateway. And we have a sequence to really emphasize the importance of the Gateway for long-term sustained presence on the moon. You can see the Orion coming here to lock with the docking bay of the Gateway. We do really emphasize in this film the importance of telerobotic communication and the use of the Gateway to do sustained robotic activity on the moon. And we can see here, conversations around both how lunar landers will eventually, we know that Artemis 3 will not go through the Gateway initially, but we will be using the Gateway eventually for doing rendezvous points and cargo storage pieces and bringing together sustained activity on the moon. Gateway has a unique orbit, which we see here, that allows us to stay in contact with the backside of the moon, while at the same time staying connected to the Earth through radio communications. And so really the importance of the Gateway in the sustained presence. The scene ends with a view of a simulated view of what the landing surface of the moon will look like in the future. It is definitely an amalgamation of many different missions together, but basically to give a sense of how this mission will land. And so we'll end this scene in a second as we are going around. And here's the final scene. Again, these are just sample models that we have in place, but we'll be showing and depicting what the landing surface looks like in terms of the Gateway and the Orion mission. So Tom, if you want to go ahead and pause there. The second scene that I wanted to share is just talking about some of the science that will be happening in the mission with the Lunar FARSIDE mission. And so this is doing low frequency radio science. If you want to go ahead and press play, Tom. This is a really important emphasis to talk about the value of using the lunar dark side of the outside, the lunar far side, away from the radio shadow of the Earth to see the dark ages of the radio universe. This is showing the cosmic microwave background, and the script is talking about that right now. But then we also talk about the dark ages after the CMB, but before the first stars had turned on. And the issue, of course, is that the Earth is a very large radio source that is blocking our ability to see that data. And so when we are able to use the DAPPER mission and the FARSIDE mission to have a radio silent view of the dark ages of the cosmos, we'll be able to learn significantly more about that unknown period, right, between the CMB and the first galaxies and stars. And so that is, we're going to stop there because I wanted to share with you briefly kind of what the plans for this project are. In terms of filming, we are going to be doing a release of this film in October. That'll be a virtual release given COVID issues. And then in summer of 2021 is when we'll finish the full-length promotion or premiere of the show with a 2022 update once we have more film footage from the Artemis mission. And we are going to be then providing Fulldome masters to planetariums around the world. And we're also experimenting and planning to develop a virtual planetarium environment where people will be able to show this show with audio once we will be able to show this during the COVID times when many planetariums right now are closed. That will not last forever, but we do want to be able to have people engage with this during that time. And so the final slide is just my contact information of how to reach me if you would like to promote this in your area or provide any feedback. And again, this work is run by both by NESF and by Lockheed Martin are the main supporters through the SERPI project. Thanks.
Thank you, John. Okay, anybody have any questions for John? Just looking. Oh, I got one for you, John. So when this is out and once we're all able to, leave our homes again, what are some ways that survey scientists or anybody, scientists in general, could use this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we'll be using this again. This will be available in planetariums around the country. And so one easy way for that to happen would be for local scientists to identify if there is a planetarium in their space where they are working and to coordinate with that planetarium facility to do a live presentation. We do a lot of those at Fiske where this is a 25-minute show, so it easily allows for a full half-hour presentation by a lunar scientist to then preview or start talking about the context of lunar exploration to then give a live talk at a local planetarium. Actually, that would be beneficial to us in the sense of like having a scientist come to a planetarium to say, here's a free show, why don't you show it? And then we can do that live talk would be a very useful way to promote and build upon this work.
Great. Hey, anybody else in the chat box or you raise your hand, call on you? Okay, great. So, okay, I guess it's time to go, or time to wrap up our session. So thank you all again for attending. We appreciate you being here.